Oh, what's going on? What's going on? We are back. We are back. We are back. Talk some boxing. So we all know everything that's going on in the world. Haven't been any major fights, right? But the UFC, they've obviously set up a clear plan where they're able to do what they need to do, and they've been putting out event after event after event. And as time goes and they do more, things seems to be, going smoother when it comes to those fights. Even when somebody steps out, something happens, they're just taking it in the chin and they're putting somebody else in their place. So, the question becomes, when is boxing going to come back? And I'm not talking about these little bum cars that Top Rank has been putting on. I'm talking about the blockbuster cars. I'm talking about the main guys. I'm talking about the Manny Pacquiao. I'm talking about the Earl Spences of the world, the Terrence Crawfords, the Canelo Alvarez's. When is that all going to come back? And the philosophy for a lot of people has been that, hey, it's they're not going to come back until probably 2021, until everything, quote, dies down, because obviously you can't have gates and things of that nature. But I don't think I agree with that. I think this is not going to be a situation where they, quote, wait like that, because I understand, especially with the big blockbuster stars, the gates mean a lot. You're talking about millions of dollars when it comes to the gate. You're talking about millions of dollars when it comes to the merchandise being sold. Millions of dollars when it comes to the sponsors who join up. It's just a lot of additional funds that come in there. You're still going to get the sponsors. You're still definitely going to still get that. But like the concessions and the gate, two major things. Question becomes, what they're going to do. And a lot of people have been thinking, because of all those things, they're going to wait until next year or until everything is done, in order so they can make their funds and they can make their finances. Me personally, I don't think it's going to end up being like that. With what's going on in the world right now, you don't know when it's going to end. It could end in a couple of months, but it might not end for 24 months. If you go back to the 1912 and the thing they had over there, it took them a while. The first year, it did its thing. It took down a lot of people. But then there was a second major wave when the thing basically was able to adjust and mutate, and it came back and it took out like 50 million people. We don't know if it's going to be something like that that's going to happen. So you don't know when it's going to end. So you can't just sit back and say, all right, I'm just going to wait till everything is over. And also, the money. And quote, yes, quote, you'll lose money if you set up the fights now. But if you don't set up the fights, you're not going to make any money. So if somebody can make 10 M's instead of, let's say they're going to make 15 M's, 20, but they're going to make 10 now or 12, making 12 is better than making nothing. It's better than going through a whole year and making absolutely nothing. You just got to adjust with the times that are there. You can't be like, oh, we're just going to wait till everything is cool. They got to start kind of doing certain things. Is it going to be risky? Absolutely, because the main event person will catch it. Then you got to make adjustments when it comes to that. Those things could happen. But at the same time, I think you still are going to have to risk it at a certain point, just like the UFC has been doing, just like the NBA is about to do, just like even college is about to do. They try to make these students sign, contracts and say if anything happens to them that they're good. They're not going to sue the schools and stuff like that, which is BS. Okay, because when it comes to the colleges, no need for that. They're not getting paid anyway. Okay, they're not getting paid, so there's no point in even doing that. There's zero reason for them to do it. Zero reason. So because of that, I think, things should be coming up soon. Once they kind of see, I think they're going to use the UFC kind of like a template to see all the things that are positive about the way they do it, the issues that they have, and then from then on, they're going to go ahead and flow by doing their own events and making that bread. Because they have no choice. But this whole thing where all the blockbuster events are going to sit and just wait until 2021 or the end of 2021 going to 2022, I don't believe that's going to happen. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And one of the biggest stars out there is Canelo Alvarez. And the thing is that what's going to happen with Canelo Alvarez? There's been a lot of talk when it comes to him. They've been talking about how when it comes to the next fight, he's going to take a major pay cut. A major pay. Supposedly, that's what they say. He's going to take a major pay cut. Which is, to me, is weird because due to the fact that he's supposed to have a guaranteed contract. So if your contract is guaranteed, it's guaranteed. When Floyd Mayweather was fighting, his contracts were guaranteed. He has his $32 million up front, and then he had back-end money, which he's made hundreds of millions of dollars in the back end, obviously, in his fights. And even when he fought Andre Berto, he didn't take a no pay cut. He still got paid his 32 M's up front and made a little bit of money in the back end. So that's just kind of weird. I understand that they'll get hit as far as the gate's concerned, but besides that, he should be good, because if they're talking about the gate maybe and not actually, his guarantee, he's straight. Who cares? He's still getting paid a huge chunk of money, especially with the names that they're talking about him fighting. They're not talking about him fighting any major fighters. They're talking about him fighting fighters that are signed to Golden Boy. That's what they're talking about him fighting, because whoever he does fight, they're trying to give those people a major pay cut. So it takes away certain people like a Callum Smith, and the other people that he was thinking about maybe fighting, because they're going to want a certain amount of money in order to fight. And also the question with him was, is he even going to fight? Is he going to wait until, quote, next year? But the question, again, the thing with that is that, yeah, you can wait till next year so you can make money from the gate, but you're still losing money because then you're making nothing this year. It's not like you're fighting 4 times next year in order to recoup these funds. So that means you're just taking the L. Instead of making some kind of M's, you're just taking a loss, which makes no sense. It's not like you're fighting anybody major anyway. It's not like you're fighting anybody that's going to be a major risk anyway. It seems as if the zone's going to be okay and it's going to ride with that. So since the zone's going to be okay and they're going to ride with that, you might as well fight and bring in some kind of bread. And also, a place like Golden Boy Promotions, they need him to fight. Because a large portion of the money that they spend to run their whole organization comes from his fights. So even if you're getting paid not necessarily the level of paycheck as you were from other fights, you still got to make something. And also the other major part is they need to bring some kind of traffic into the zone. So you can't have your biggest star not fight. That's going to be a huge portion of the revenue that you do make is going to be from that man. Because that's the main guy that's on your team, on your network, on your app, whatever the hell they call it. So I see everybody returning, and I also see him returning. I just don't see people adding or dumping on additional fights for the next particular year. No one's gonna fight 4 times in 1 year in order to make up for this time, for this year. I don't think there's gonna be 3 fights. I don't think any, for any of these major fighters. The Canelo Alvarez, the Earl Spence, the Manny Pacquiao, the Terrence Crawford, the freaking what the hell's his name? The Ukrainian dude, the little one, whatever his name is. I don't remember it right now, but it's okay. But all of those guys, they're gonna want to fight, especially him. I don't know, Lomachenko. Especially for Lomachenko, because he's getting older. He's in 33, probably, I think, going on 34. He's getting up there. So he's going to want to get on and popping, trying to get these matches out the way. And you also want to keep your younger fighters active as well. You want, Lopez got to fight, because after this fight, he's moving up. After he fights Lomachenko, he beats Lomachenko, he's moving up. So the longer this goes on, it's trouble for him, because he might not even be able to make the weight, which I'll talk about that in another video. But it looks like that's been actually extended out, but they're going to eventually have to do it. You just can't just keep pushing it out. There's no end in sight for this thing. We don't know when it's going to end, and especially with this country and the way they're doing things like complete morons in most of these states, it's just going to stay more active in this country longer than necessary, because every time everything starts to get better, people want to make certain moves in an idiotic, stupid way, try to act all of a sudden like nothing's going on. Which then, as they continue to do that, numbers going to get pushed right back up again. So there's no end in sight for that shutting down in this country. So, we'll see what goes on. We've heard a lot of Earl Spence. Other fighters from PBC have been talking about how they got, their fights coming up, announcements coming soon. So we'll see what happens with that. But until then, like, subscribe, share. I'm out.